I told y'all that we are not Semitic. Those are for the people who say that they are Jews, Jewish. It's a big difference. So one of my comments said that all Jews are Zionists. And this may be true because we already know that this star right here has nothing to do with the Star of David. Because there's nowhere in scripture that David had a star. And remember, Abba said no idols or images of things above, and a star would represent an image. It's a no for that. Now, we left off talking about the other people that were called Yahudim from the Judah tribe. You remember the ones that were shipped all over the world, just like prophecy says in Deuteronomy. And I'm not giving you any reference points because I want you to read the whole book. So don't get mad at them for apologizing, because they should, because we are not Semitics. We are Shemites, the ones that were forced into slavery. Now, what's so funny is the Jewish people in Judaism religion says that since the Second Temple, they have been keeping the law. They are strict observants of Torah. And they are Semitic, but they are not Shemitic. Because we all know that the Shemites were in captivity. And these people claim they have never been in captivity. So I know what you're going to say. Weren't they in the Holocaust? Yes, they were for 12 years, but it was not a captivity. And remember, we were in captivity for 400 years. Let's continue. Now, as you can remember, we were talking about the Sadducees and the Pharisees, which today this has turned into Judaism. But I don't believe all of them are Zionists. That's just one set. But in scripture, they kind of said that they were not slaves and that they have never been in bondage. Now, anywhere you see Jews, change that to Yahudim, because Jews is a made-up term. It got evolved over the years as to say that anybody could be a Jew if you cling to the Judah tribe. But I'm going to tell you, they're not even the Judah tribe. Watch this. To the Yahudim who had believed in Yahusha said, if you hold my teachings, you are really my disciples. Then you will know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And the Pharisees replied and said, we are Abraham's descendants, and we have never been slaves to anyone. How can you say that we shall be set free? You're starting to understand that they were always free. That does not match scripture. And Yahushua replied, said, very, very, I tell to you, everyone who is a sin is a slave to sin. Slaves to sin, slaves to sin, slaves to sin. We are Shemites, not Semitic. Okay, y'all, stay with me now, because the Most High is unveiling these lies. And let's remember, we have to stay respectful, loving, and no discrimination. Because after all, that wouldn't be the way of Yahuwah, now would it? And don't forget, Judah, this is a test for you to see if you will continue to have love in your heart when the truth has been revealed. Now let's continue. Now this is old news, but we are finding out that these people right here are in the book. They are under the Japheth line. Therefore, they are not Shemites, but they still Shemitic. You see the confusion? Now, you trying to tell me that wasn't done on purpose? Yes, it was. Now, we also understand that they are a part of a religion called Judaism. And yes, it's black people in this religion. You're Ethiopians. But they are not Shemites either. They are Ham. And now you can understand the definition of a Jewish person, a Semitic, relating to, associated with, denoting Jewish people or Judaism. Now, over time, this word Jew came into existence because the original word was Yehudi. So we know who Yehuda is, the fourth son of Leah. Another name for this would be Yahudi or Yahudiam. And it says here that they were not mentioned in any early books, and only a few times in these books right here. Now, we know that the Judah tribe is the tribe that the Messiah comes from. So it's very important. So later they incorporated this word Jew, or the term being used, to describe the people from the Judah kingdom. Remember when it got split into two, the northern and the southern tribes. The northern tribe was called Israel, and the southern tribe was called Judah or Yahuda. But later on, it says here that the name came to mean every Jew wherever he was without any connection to his tribal origins. Y'all, this is when the Edomites, Esau, started to creep into the Judah tribe. And it says here the word was used in the ethnic, cultural, historic, and religious connotations. And no one really knows the source of how this came to be. Interesting. Now, after the Babylonian captivity, this kingdom went into Assyria, this one went into Babylon, and then both of them were merged together. And this is when your Edomite started to creep into the land. But they say that they are Zadokites. But is this true? Now, I hope by now everybody can understand that Semitic is a made-up term. Certain people who say that they are the Yahudim, I want to say, let them have that term. Afro-Americans, we have our own culture. And yes, there are Shemites that did not go into captivity that are still in Africa today and all over the world. But to say that you've never been in captivity is kind of not true, because we're all in a captivity today. And that's why you must understand that the Israelites were an example of how to keep the commandments, the way of Yahuwah in your mind and in your heart, and the consequences of not being obedient. Now, the best example of this would be Afro-Americans. So let's see if these people really add up to being who they say that they are. Now, this religion of Judaism, for the most part, does not believe that the Messiah has come. They are today trying to build a third temple for their Messiah to rest in. Are you seeing why Afro-Americans, this is not our culture? And they did not steal the way of Yahuwah from us, because this is our entirely different belief system. So please stop saying they stole our culture, because this is not our culture. Now, these people claim to keep Torah, not only observe it, but they actually keep it. Every law, the 613 laws, but they can't do the sacrifices because they don't have a temple. And this is why they beat their heads up against the Wailing Wall. The last part of the temple, they say. But actually, this wall is not the temple. Remember? Because scripture don't lie, where it says, do you see all these things? In reference to the temple, he asked, truly I tell you, not one stone here will be left on another. Everyone will be thrown down. So what's this stone being here then? Get it? Now that would be clue number one. Let's go for clue number two. Hey, that they observed the Torah over there in Israel. So Torah says, if anyone is poor among your fellow Israelites in any town of the land of Yahuwah, your Elohim is giving you, which would be Israel, do not be hard-hearted or tight-fist towards them. Rather be open-handed and freely lend them whatever they need. Well, this is Israel, and it looks like your fellow stranger among your land is in need. I'm just scratching the surface. I can go deeper than this, but you'll have to stay tuned for more. Shalom.